putting this off long enough. Tired of procrastinating about it. Just gotta do it. Make it build itself.
Get her done, Jamie.
My goal for today is I'm gonna take the front clip off and I'm gonna get it ready to pull the motor out. I'm gonna start the cleanup on the frame on the front half. Then I'm gonna go back to the back and I'll take the bed off. That may be in another episode, but I'm gonna take it off and then get that all prepped because I got a lot of parts that's done coming in. So
keep them coming, brother. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning. I had an absolutely blast of a time this weekend. A lot of driving. But I got to spend some time with a lot of good people, and I needed the time away. That was awesome. She didn't like it so much, did ya? She missed me. If you haven't yet, go subscribe to Grease Spot Garage, Busted Radio Garage, Grand Pito Vic, Never Done Projects. There is so many of us, guys. Amazing people. Every one of them. They are all great people. And I love hanging out with them. And there will be plenty more where this started. All right, first stop I did Friday, I stopped and picked up my winnings from Busted Radio Garage giveaway. That come off the Homer, I think it was 2.0. I'm gonna trim all the heavy off the back. That way it's just the skin. And then I'm gonna make a bracket to attach the front part of the quarter panel to the door skin. And I'm gonna get that hung up in the showroom. Well, dagnabbit, he didn't sign it. Chris, the next time you're up here, you're gonna have to sign this door for me. All right. Yeah, it was great seeing everybody, and now it's time to get back to work. I've got a lot going on, and I need to get busy. I needed that time away to recoup and rest up. Apparently this week I'm gonna have new doors put in. I can't guarantee it, but hopefully we get those put in. I will be doing a member video on this one. If you're not, I suggest, if you can, don't put yourself out, but $5 a month isn't much. Become a member. There's going to be a lot happening to this truck in a short amount of time, and it's going to be members only. I've got big plans for that truck. We are going to continue on Pandora. We are going to get this thing ready for paint. We are going to get it all assembled. And then we're going to get it in the booth and get it painted. We have possibly underneath that cover out there is the GOAT 67 GTO tri-power car. That one needs a lot of work yet. Possibly be getting that in here real soon. We have a Camaro street drag car coming in to do a set of wheelie bars on. We have a couple smaller rocker jobs coming in, frame jobs, things of that nature. First off, I think I need to get this stuff under primer and some of it under paint. I don't know if I feel like staying in the booth all day, but we'll see how it rolls out. Oh, and I was asked about the gas lid door. Yeah, there it is. I didn't show it the other day because I already had it that far. This is the stuff I was stripping and prepping and all that. I knew I had that already prepped before I even took it off the car. And then when I took it off the car, I got the inside of it all cleaned up and scaled out. The reason the inside is already primed, you know, you can't get in every crevice of these. So what I did after I got it all stripped out is I took that rust encapsulator and I coated everything I could get to. And then I went and put primer on it. If you don't know, these are notorious for rusting out around the edges. So I shoved that nozzle up in there and I just coated the daylights out of it, trying to prevent anything from coming back on it. That's the best gas door I've ever seen on one of this body style. There's been a lot of them I've had to repair this area. This one did not. All right, let me get rolling here. There is a bird flying around the shop and Ornery is going crazy trying to find it. She's caught it a couple times and tried to bring it to me to show me, and it has gotten loose. What, you gonna go in the booth? You haven't been in there yet, huh? You haven't been in the booth yet today? Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna get busy. Sit back, enjoy the show, and let's see how far we go.
So, let's get to work. Let me back this up a bit. Creek Fab, what's up, man? Alright, yes, this looks good. So I'm gonna park you right there. Busy, no problem, brother, no problem. Back down, boy. Alright, for those of you in the chat are curious what we use on all of our cars. So for our transmission fluid, we use this trip chip from B&M for all of our transmissions. This is a recommendation from John Cook, to be honest with you. So that's what we use here. And then we switched all of our racing to partners on those shapers. So this is what we're going to be using for engine oil for all the cars from here on out. We was talking to Griffin there for a while, but you know, Jason, my boy over there, got me in with shapers, and this is who we're going to be using for our engine oil.
That liquor's kind of cold in here this morning. It's beautiful outside. I'm telling you, it looks like it's going to be a decent day looking at the weather app. Not as beautiful as down at Never Done. Oh man, it was mid-70s down there. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was a great day out there. Couldn't have had a better turnout either.
Just trying to get a minute run over here. Trying to keep it on.
A bird got in here this weekend, and Ornery is driving herself crazy trying to get it.
I'm going to try to do one giveaway before we start our season. Now, you guys know starting, it's essentially going to be on April 1st. As soon as the cars all survive, which I don't see why they wouldn't, You know, so we'll squeeze them in if we can, if we can get some away from the road, but you never know.
Whew, man, that's cold on the old hands.
Now, folks, Jeff Schwartzman is yesterday all in about the oil in here. And I appreciate it, I'm not complaining. As you guys know, I blew up a perfectly brand new four-lane last year because I forgot to put oil in. Roger, what's up, buddy? How are you?
All definite sleep, viruses, and bacteria linger. Air fresheners out of scent, but only Lysol air sanitizer helps erase the trace, eliminating odor and killing 99.9% of viruses and bacteria in the air. Scent, sanitize, Lysol can.
My career path was Crown. I started here as a welder, and I decided I wanted
That's
to
gonna be
become
fun.
part of the leadership over the weld shop. The opportunities really are endless throughout Crown.
I started wire harnesses and then took a welding class. It took weeks. It was worth it to me. Since I started at Crown, we had a lot more women starting the factory and it's been great.
From the beginning, they were applauded. Chicago, July 6th, Rose Music Center in the Heights. The music of Chicago, July 6th, Rose Music Center in the Heights. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com and the Rose Music Center box office.
Everybody's got a life outside of here, man. I get it. I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi. You know I love you. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Justin, it's good to see you again, man. I haven't seen you in a while. All right, let's get that. Nothing some more. From my maple syrup bowl. God damn it, I'm going to get that movie everywhere. Just like I'm doing right now. That's the way to advance the way. I'm gonna let that now use down in there real quick. Oh, I got supposed to transition this in here. Forgot about that. Yeah, to be honest with you, I took it up to Dyno last year before we left for Connecticut, and it exploded right inside the, we didn't get it hooked to the dyno. I forget what we done. I'm sure some of the people in the chat were here last year. Oh, that's what happened. The pickup dude with an oil pan, something that happened with it, and it jacked something up. I can't remember exactly. We didn't get the dyno in there. We rebuilt the thing right there on my trailer. And then we run the rest of the year with it. But it's been a dyno before we head to Texas, so we'll know. I have no clue, to be honest with you. I know it's fun, I can say that. Gregory said, hey, what's up, Ricky? How are you? Justin said, are you going to paint the rims? No. I have a new set of rims and tires for this car. I'm going to do that on kind of like probably the run video where we go to the first part and all that jazz for everybody. I've got 2 sets of complete burnout tires sitting right over there to use for testing. Keith said, nice car. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like I said, that's American Dream. Yes, sir. All right, let me try to get a little running oil out of these engines. Generally, when we go, we kind of throw them in on the top, but it just didn't happen that way this time. And we can maybe beat a little bit in there, but you're doing great work on the bus, and thank you for sharing it all of us, sir. You didn't know, I thank you guys for being here. Anybody that's been on this channel for a while knows how great I am for people being here. You guys are all in my hanging out with you, and I do everything I can to make that community. Just think I see oil going in, I can give you some slack now. The Jeff, dude, I appreciate it. I put my funnel in here in my radiator, so when we go to get the system set up for cooling, aka water, to remind me that there was no fluid to this engine or the car altogether. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff, I appreciate it. Rickety, you guys are awesome, bud. How are you? Alright, quick, let's go on real quick. This stuff is legit, like maple syrup right now, and it's just, I can probably set it for the torpedo here, and get it a little bit warm so it flows a little smoother, but I just need to just sit there for all you guys for a little bit. Take care of everybody's day going. Weekend, and both companies are running full. So, I've been stopping brand new items, and I'm just going to give them right back to you guys. Hopefully it's going to keep you using your job. Maybe you got brothers to use it, or sister, or uncle, aunt, whatever. You know what I mean? Trying to get that.
God damn, they told me to.
You guys got it?
Still cold brew coffee. I'm just gonna keep it classy. Everyone put your clothes back on.
Are you looking at 4x4s on cars.com again?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
I was thinking of something more sophisticated. Fine. Keep the beer.
Cars.com. Where to next?
Get 4 weeks free when you sign up for Uber One for students. It's another superb day in Inner City. Thanks to the floor restorers working hard to flush out the bad and boost your own good bacteria. Thanks to them, your gut is more balanced and resilient. With Floor Store Probiotics, it's all systems go.
Rick said it's getting dressed for rain, but that's no good. Disney said it's 42 above here in Massachusetts. Thank you very much, Disney Rebar. Hey, let me ask you, seriously, it happens to us here the other day. There's no problem in Atwood. I know some of you probably never do not know who he is. Said he got up there in Ohio. But how many of you got that flood rain they're calling it? It was on Friday/Saturday. Did anybody else get that? Kind of like it rained, but it rained mud. Does that make sense? Ricker, dude, to be honest with you, I forgot all about that. I give everybody so many piece gun. I'm glad you like it though. Doug, hello, how are you? You did it, you all didn't get none of it? It was the craziest thing, guys. It was cloudy and messy, like just a gloomy day. And then we got nailed with rain for about a half an hour. And it was like mud. It was unreal. So like we were sitting there like, what in the world's going on? So we started hearing about it. Well, Jim said he got it, but anyway, they were saying that the storm picked up dirt like Texas or out west, I can't remember exactly where, and it was the atmosphere got caught in, I don't know how that works, but it got caught up in the storm system, and then when the rain here, it dumped all that muddish rain down on everybody. It was unreal. Yeah, you have to Google it if you haven't seen it. If you didn't get to see it yourself, but maybe if I'm on here long enough, I'll take you and show it on my truck. It was unreal. I've never seen anything like it in my 50 years. Right? It all long time ago, that's worth that answer, but that's Alright, so check these out, guys. I got a boatload of these. So I've done a brand deal with this company. I can't remember what it's called right off the top of my head. I asked for packaging to be conspicuous, but anyway, inside these boxes is a 280 piece abrasive and buffing kit, believe it or not. And let me see if I can pop one up. Let me see what the name of this company was. Anyway, if you guys do any body work or like metal work or anything like that, I'm trying to stretch over my ladder. They have all these pieces that you can go on your grills or air tools or whatever you use. And there's all kinds of crap down there. Buffet pads, everything on these boxes. So I asked for these boxes, and I got a big massive box full of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them away to you guys. So next time we do one of our lives, we'll pick, however many in here and give them away. Now I'm not giving away per piece. Everybody's going to get a box. So I think it'd be pretty cool for those of you that, that fit apart around your shop or hobby work or whatever. I enjoy giving you guys, man. I think it's awesome. Like I said in my life before, if I can get that one smile on somebody's face, if you're having a bad day, you get a full gift in the mail, you know what I mean? That's awesome. Someone donated me a ton of those buses that weren't on the shop for sure. That's good to hear. I haven't used any of this. I mean, obviously I've used stuff like this, but nothing from these people. But, I told them, if you guys want me to work with you, I'm going to need a bunch to give away. And then I've done a brand deal for another company. I haven't received them yet, but they're sending me engine moving carts. What they're supposed to be a cart that has an engine stand built to the cart. And so, if any of you have ever tried to move an engine stand around your shop, right? And you get that thing hung on a zip tie, it's not moving. Well, these here have bigger wheels on them. You can move them wherever you want. They got a handle. So if you're building something like this, right?
That one came right off. Why ain't you coming off?
You can build on this cart and pull that cart right over your car or whatever. Drop the brakes sort of thing. Or if you're in the track, you got to hold your engine for whatever reason. They're pretty cool, and I can't wait to get them in. We're going to give those away to you guys. It's going to be fun on my part, different, I can tell you that. But I can't wait. Man, I got so much crap coming out of the get you guys. It's unreal. Alright, come down, like 7 to go. I knew it was going to be slowing on that trigger along the line, talking about doing it. That's, I think, I got some of here.
This one don't need it. This one's kind of loose. Alright. I'm gonna take that out there and see if I can't switch that hinge out, or the pin. I'm gonna wipe these down again. Because, you know, I got grease. I got grease on stuff. Something don't look right here. Something. Oh, I see what I did. That's no big deal. That's there. It's I had it to where this caught on the thing. This one I didn't, so here I can move it around and get paint everywhere. That'll work. All right, now I think I'm gonna grab a small cup. I think one small cup should be enough to get all this stuff on the primer. Get rid of these old rags that I have hanging up to dry. Let me go get a liner and see if we can't get some primer sprayed. Alright, I think I am going to get some primer sprayed here. I cleaned the hinges up. I got a few things set up a little bit better. I'm gonna do wet on wet. So what I'll do is I'll come through and I'll spray all this stuff. Let it dry off enough that you can flip it. Spray the other side, let it dry, well, I don't know, for a little while, and then I'll come back and go into the color. This here, I'm gonna need to sand that because that's outside body. This here, same thing. I ain't even going to do anything but get it under primer. This, I'll get it under primer. I'll have to come back and sand them just like I would the body. This is going to need a little bit of sanding where I spot puttied here now. So that's all good. This, I'll spray it in primer, and after it's ready, I'll go right into the paint. This, I'll do the same thing. With it hanging here, I should be able to just do it all. I was going to try and get this stuff hanging so I can do the same with it, but it is not going to be easy to get that hanging to where it's not going to blow around on me while I'm trying to spray it. So I'm going to have to do it a little bit different, you know, flip, flop, do all that. All right, so everybody has been on me pretty hard about a mask. I didn't think anybody cared about me that much. So take this as a promise. I'm going to try. I'm not guaranteeing, but I'm going to try to wear my mask more. Trying to get me. I'm gonna try to wear my mask more. Another thing, if you look at my hands, all them little cracks. When I mix paint, I get paint in there and I'm always looking like a bum. So I'm gonna try to wear rubber gloves whenever I mix. I hate wearing gloves. I hate wearing a mask. But I do want to be around for a while. And I don't want to look like I never washed my hands. Believe it or not, I just washed my hands. I want to try to get my hands looking better. Alright. I got to figure out where I put my gloves. I think they're in one of my... Oh, I know where they're at. They're in my filing cabinet. All these safety techs around here. Come on. No, I will not do colonoscopies. That is not in my job title. Hate gloves. You can ask my wife, it'll be dead of winter. She'll be griping at me to put my gloves on. I don't do it. I don't like gloves. All right. We're gonna go 4-to-1. And we're going to put a little reducer because I want a smoother finish. Bring that up to 8. Dang, I can't believe we're all the way down to half a gallon on its primer already. I have a feeling I'm going to have to get some more before I do the final prime on the whole car. That's okay. That's all right. I don't know what that was. I heard it. I'm going to ignore it. Something fell. And yes, I am going to redo this. I do not like it. It's too low. I need the table up here where I'm not bending over to do my mixing. And I have just the thing to make it the way I want it. I gotta modify it. But that will come. Okay, let's see. Spin that around here to the you know, the dimension stuff. Okay, we have right at 16 ounces. 10% would be 1.6. I'm gonna make it less than that. I'm gonna make it 1. So we'll bring that up to 17. Ish. Grab me a rag, wipe my hands off. Hey, it does wipe up better than my hands though. Okay. All right. I know you guys are waiting for me to say it. I know it. Box don't stir. How many of you watched any of the lives this weekend that I put up? I got the first one of the weekend up on TV now because, you know, I haven't seen it. And I cannot figure out how to get the chat to come up. This TV, I have not been able to figure it out, but this is alive and there's supposed to be a bunch of people over here talking. I'm answering them, but I have no idea what they said. I don't know how to get that up here. I'm confused. It would be nice to be able to read along instead of a one-sided conversation. This gets blue. It's the only thing inside that gets blue. This is part of the lower part of the dash, so it gets gloss black. This is part of the body, so it gets blue. Those get blue. All of this gets gloss black. This will be gloss black, but the only thing, I put the primer on a little heavier on this one. The only thing I can spray today is the inside. I'm not too concerned with the inside, but I got a little bit of, you can see, a little bit of spot putty work to do yet, which I couldn't tell that before I primed. And few little pits up in the top, so I'm gonna body work that. It might need another coat of primer. Well, it will need another coat of primer. This stuff I'm gonna let set while I go home and eat lunch, and when I come back it should be cured enough to roll over and start squirting.
trying to do about that? We'll try to figure it out, we'll figure it out together. If you can't tell, leave right there, really. I got leaks everywhere. I bet you I can put it on. Well, better yet, I'll just put this bucket here. Here, I'll put it in here, bucket. I got turned there first. Good news is with this machine here, I don't have to worry about any kind of electronics sitting outside the front. It's all air powered. So that being said, I'm not going to put a bucket over here. I'm going to put it. That could be perfect.
All right, guys, I got the gun all cleaned up there. I'm gonna let all this stuff set till morning. This I'm not happy with, and it's a good thing because Adam called and it got changed. What got changed, I'm not gonna tell you just yet, but before I come in here and flipped all this and all that, I had just got done spraying that and I set my gun down. I walked out there, took care of a couple people that come in and come back in, put my mask on, and Adam called and made some changes. So yeah, the glove box I'm gonna put off to the side for now. I like the changes. Don't get me wrong at all, because I like the change. This turned out pretty. So in the morning, I'll come in, I'll flip all this stuff over and shoot some clear on the back side, shoot clear on this, let that flash off, roll everything back up and shoot the clear on the outside, and then it can set. I shoot the clear on this stuff, not the gas door. Well, I'll spray the inside of the gas door, the outside not yet. I'll do that on the car. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, and yeah, I'm gonna go home and relax. I'm still a little jet lagged, but I'm still doing good. All right, guys, till the next one, have a blessed evening.